Finance Committee members for all the hard work that they've been doing, and they've put a lot of time in working with each other and the majority in finance. The Speaker and the Chair of Finance have been exceptionally gracious in the things that we've worked on up to this point, and we've done good work together. And I have no reason to believe that moving forward we won't be able to continue to work in that fashion. So I just want to commit that we will continue to work with the majority to govern and do the work of the people of the state of Ohio and not be partisan about this. We did want to, however, share with you what our concerns are moving forward. We thought it was important that those be public concerns as you watch us negotiate and work through some of the ins and outs and things that we're concerned about contained within the sub-bill and the budget. At this time, myself or any of the finance members would love to take questions, more particularly the finance members. They understand the details of this way better than I do, but we are here for questions. Yeah. Representative Sarah?
One of the things I wanted to touch on real quick was when you're trying to put tax policy together, it should be consistent. And we have a situation with the tangible personal property tax that was eliminated, and we've been providing that reimbursement fund to help our schools and local communities with that. And that's eliminated in this budget. However, the sub-bill found it fit to continue that for one area where there's a nuclear power plant. Well, you know, I have 2 coal-burning power plants, and I'm a coal guy. I'd rather have coal-burning power. I like to have our people getting those tangible personal property tax relief as well and continue to get those reimbursements. So if elimination of the tangible personal property tax is such a good idea, why are they introducing an amendment to continue to pay for reimbursements in a community where there's 1 power plant when communities all across the state are being hit hard by those cuts?
Anybody have any questions?
What do you guys think in general about the way these revisions were handled in terms of House Republican leaders going behind closed doors to work out the sub-bill and then just kind of announcing it? Do you think that was a good way to handle it?
Well, as we have said, there was a lot of bipartisan work that went into our amendments, their amendments. We especially in some of the K-12 subcommittee, higher ed. I mean, we had all this bipartisan, HHS. The individuals in the subcommittees were meeting one-on-one with the chairs. I've been meeting with the chair of finance. So we've had all this bipartisan conversation about what we would like to see moving forward in the budget. And so I will tell you that when we got the sub-bill, there were provisions in the sub-bill that had never been discussed, especially some of the provisions that Leader Strayhorn outlined. That go after working folks in Ohio. And so while, you know, we were surprised to see those, we have testimony going on right now in the committee to help us understand those. But that said, we are committed to working through this with our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. We will continue through this process. As you know, amendments for the omnibus amendment are due tomorrow afternoon. We will be very thorough and very smart and strategic about which of our 350 amendments are offered. We obviously won't offer all of them, but there are some things that we have just highlighted for you, and we've had amendments offered for all of these areas. We will be continuing to offer those, trying to make some headway in the budget as it moves out of the House. So we remain optimistic that we can still have an impact and get some work done. But there were provisions added in the sub-bill that were a surprise and that are problematic, and we will be trying to get those out.
Are there any areas of the House Republican budget that you guys agree with, or things in there that were amendments that you specifically pushed that you're happy got in?
We did get a number of amendments. There was some crossover between amendments that we were offering and amendments that the majority was offering. And so many of those amendments were accepted. And so we did make some progress in some areas. I mean, as Representative Phillips said, we have made some progress on the school funding formula. I know there was a lot of conversation in that subcommittee about how that might work better. Unfortunately, though, the transportation issue was not well addressed. The TPP issue has also not been well addressed. And so we are hopeful that we can still make more progress there. But yes, we did make some headway in a bipartisan way through the sub-bill.
I want to comment on that. as well. Every budget has a lot of things that we all like. It's $72 billion worth of spending. There are going to be things in there, a lot of things in there that we like. But one of the things that we tried to focus on was getting the big things right. I mean, for us to vote for that, we want to get the big things right. Most of the money that we spend is in Medicaid and education. So when we look at charter school accountability and transparency, for instance, you know, you guys have probably seen the statistic that the amount of new money since the Roth is equal to the amount of money that we've given to charter schools. I think the general acceptance has been we're going to have charter schools. Everybody's focused on that they be quality, Republicans and Democrats alike. We've had national coverage that has criticized our implementation because it lacks accountability and transparency. We've had a Republican state auditor make suggestions that are not in this bill. We've had very conservative Republican members have bills and try to do this, and it's still not done. We have a duty to make sure if we're going to have this, and they even used to say that they're public schools. When we used to argue over that in the past, it was, well, we are public schools. We have an obligation and a duty to make sure if we're going to do this, that we're doing that in the light of day, accountability and transparency, because it's one of the biggest things that we do, and it's the only thing in the state constitution that we're responsible for doing. We do a lot of stuff. The only thing that we're constitutionally responsible for getting right is this. We all agree on it. Why won't we do that in the budget? So there are always great things, but we need to make sure that if we're voting for this, we're at least getting the big glaring things as right as we can.